Okay, so your conscious mind, it's 10% of your mind. It's literal, it seeks the why, it makes sense, it loves structure, it's very logical, very analytical. It's that bit of your brain that says, it needs to be realistic, Mary. It's 10% of your mind. It's where at any time you have 2 million bits of information coming at us through our senses. Obviously our brains cannot compute that information at any time. So it has to break those bits of information down to 134 bits, 7 plus or minus 2 bits of information. That's all we can actually take in at any time. Otherwise it's like a water hose and we'll be overwhelmed. So that's why at school you were taught the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Phone numbers are normally 8 digits. It's the amount of information we can retain at any time. It's a really important part of our mind. It seeks the why, it's cognitive learning, understanding, and we need that information. And many of you in this room have been successful because of that analytical mind that you have. However, also in that conscious mind, that 10%, is your inner critic or your self-talk. You know that voice that says, who are you to even apply for that job? You've been out of the workplace for 2 years, no one's going to employ you. I'm too old to get that job. I'm not the right colour, I'm not the right size, I'm not good enough, X, Y, Z. I haven't got the experience, I haven't got the capabilities. That voice, and if any of you in the room are saying, what voice is she talking about? It's that voice. We've all got it. Every single person in the room has got that voice. Apparently, there's 60,000 thoughts that we think every single day, and most of them are the same thoughts as the ones we thought before, yesterday, the day before that, and the day before that. So part of my work with any individual client, team or organisation is to get them to understand that we have an inner critic, we have a self-talk, but we can learn how to tune it down and turn it down. Every morning we wake up and we have, I call them ants. We can wake up with automatic negative thoughts. We don't have to think about being negative, it can just happen. And people say to me, Mary, how can you be so positive? I work at it every single day. Because the easy option is to buy into the negativity and the self-talk. So that's the first bit that I talk to every single client about. Let's talk about your inner critic. Let's talk about your self-talk. How are you disempowering yourself? How are you self-sabotaging yourself? What are you telling yourself? And there's a book by Tim Galway called The Inner Game of Tennis. Any of you are into any sports of any kind. And he says, the opponent in our head is always fiercer than the opponent opposite the net. You know, we can beat ourselves up better than anybody else can beat ourselves up. What we say to ourselves is more cruel than we'd ever say to any best friend of ours. And what I've found from my experience of working through many, many industries, the people who are really sophisticated, educated and experienced in being very analytical, very rational, very reasonable, and their jobs have rewarded them for that, doctors, lawyers, accountants, etc., then their self-talk is even louder. They're really, because everything, they're analysing everything and analysing themselves the most, and normally to detriment rather than positivity. So one of the little tips that I help them, but we have thoughts, we have automatic negative thoughts, one of the little tips to share with you is just stop. Just stop when you hear that thought. Take a breath. And I say be dear to yourself. Delete, erase and replace. Delete, erase and replace. Give yourself the gift as if you were talking to your own best friend. And give yourself positive self-talk. So that's the first bit about our mind. So I'm, as a coach, as a human, I'm fascinated by people. I'm very curious, always. That's the first 10%. So I'm sort of interested in that when people come to see me because they go, Mary, I'm in chaos, I don't know where to go, I'm at a crossroads. Never a crossroads, always a roundabout. There's many ways off and back on again. Please will you help me? I just don't know what I want to do. I just don't know where I want to go. I'm just a bit stuck. And I've got 2 nicknames in my coaching field that clients have given me, not myself. I've been called either the Marie Kondo of coaching, so I'll clear out all the rubbish and leave you with joy in your head. I love hearing out someone's mind, the chaos in people's minds. or the other person I've been referred to as Wendy from Billions. I think you've seen the Netflix Billions. So I clear out all the crap, give you joy, and give you lots of self-belief to go and do whatever you need to do. I'm quite happy with both of those, actually. So that's really interesting. People come talk to me, blah, 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 fantastic, right, that's your 10%. Now, the bit that I'm really curious about, the bit that we're going to really make change from the inside out, is your unconscious mind. Okay, so I want you to imagine your unconscious mind is like your iCloud. Anything that's ever happened to you in your life is stored in your unconscious mind. It's your meditating mind, it's your dreaming mind. It only thinks in images and symbols, it thinks in pictures. It's intuitive. All your creativity and imagination is in there. It allows you to join the dots when different situations happen. It's literal, it has no sense of humour. It takes everything you say as fact. It's the light bulb moments are in your unconscious mind, not in your heavy thinking mind, those ideas. It's unable to process negatives. So, if I said to you now, I don't want you to picture a purple elephant on a yellow cloud. No? How many got the purple elephant and the yellow cloud? The brain has to think of pictures first and delete the don't. So, as a mother of two, I've got a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. I'm the mum around the pool when the other mums are going, don't run, don't run. I'm going, walk slowly please, because otherwise they'll delete the don't. So all your emotions are there, fear, anger, joy, anything that's ever happened in your life, you've stored there. I don't know if any of you've seen the movie, any of you are younger children, the movie Inside Out. So Inside Out is all those emotions, everything happens, gets locked into your unconscious mind and can stay there unless you come and see someone like myself who also does hypnotherapy work as well as coaching. There's a butler in your head. Did you know you had your own servant in your head? I call him your butler. I've done some work with some young children and I told them you've got a genie in your head. And it's your servant to follow orders. So whatever you tell it to do, it will do for you. It's like you're talking to a 6-year-old. So your unconscious mind is like talking to a 6-year-old. It'll follow everything you say. So if you get up in the morning and you say, another rubbish day, better get stuck in that meeting, I bet that job application I won't get any answer from them, and I bet I'm late for this, and I bet this doesn't turn out. Of course, as humans, we want to be right, and guess what? The butler will say, that's what you've asked me to do, that's what I'll deliver for you. So every word we say is being overheard by our unconscious mind. So we have to tell it what you do want, not what you don't want. So many clients come to me, I don't know what I want. I said, then you're going to stay stuck. What can help you is get clarity on what you want, but until you know what you want, the unconscious mind doesn't know how to find it for you or help you find it.